Well, hey, Southside, I'm here with Paul Woodhouse, our pastoral minister. As many of you know, Paul has a lot of experience in a hospital setting. He was a chaplain for how many years, Paul?
I've been in healthcare chaplaincy for 25 years.
25 years. So his perspective is really helpful as we think about how do we respond as a church to the possibility of a lot of us being sick. And taking proper precautions, and being with one another when times are hard. So I want to invite him here and to enlighten us on, based on his experience, how we might be responding. So Paul, okay, so you've got 25 years of chaplaincy experience. I first want to know, how does that shape you? How does it shape a person to have that kind of experience?
Oh my goodness, in so many different ways. Most of that time has been spent in hospice chaplaincy. So I've been with people who have been very, very ill and at the end of life. So it's been more of the extreme sort of thing. Although I have worked in the hospital for several years in ICU and taking call in emergent situations. How has it shaped me? I think it's given me a great appreciation for every single day we have to live, that we are healthy.
Yeah.
After going and seeing a patient, quite often I would want to come home and just hold my wife and kids, and I think that's how it's profoundly affected me, is that way.
Yeah, a sense of gratitude.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the situations you find yourself in, especially as a hospice chaplain, can be really difficult. For those of us who aren't used to those kind of situations, what do you find yourself doing in those moments?
The one thing I've learned, and it's a continually learning process for me, and I'm still learning. I'm prepared to learn from the people who are actually ill. You know, I'm prepared to learn what they're going through and to listen. I think the two things that I remember the most about chaplaincy training is hurry up, show up, and shut up. So that's what I did. I would be in a hurry to get there. I would be there, just to be there with them and listen, and really listen to people, share their burdens. It's amazing to me how much you'll get if you'll just ask people what's up,
right.
You know, and really have an ear for them.
Yeah.
And during this particular time, it seems that one of the things that I was at Walmart yesterday and shopping, and I was thanking employees. And I was thanking the checkout guy, and he checked me out, and just a string of stories came out of him about how hard it's been for employees over there. And I thought, well, there certainly haven't been many people ask him how he's doing.
Right.
And that might be something we can do is in small ways, is to ask people how they're doing. Those people that are scrubbing up and disinfecting those shelves, that's hard work. And those people are working very hard, and I'd say, listen to them. Stop a moment, thank them. If they want to tell you something, listen. Yeah.
Just having a listening ear can be really effective.
Yeah, because we've all got our problems. I mean,
right.
We've all got our issues. Inconveniences, more like. They're really more inconveniences than they are true trials. Although those with 5 children, I know we've got one family here with 5 children. I would consider that a trial. It's more than an inconvenience. Yeah. And you've got 3 of your own,
I'll
and a working wife, and you're trying to do things too. And so It's just, we've all got our stories to tell. I think we just need to listen.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so one of the unique things about our current situation is we can't be with each other face to face, at least not in big crowds. And even our small groups aren't meeting right now, many of them.
Right.
And so how do we listen well? How do we show up for one another when we can't be face to face?
Oh, that's a great question. The phone is still a very useful tool, mostly because it gives someone's listening on the other end.
Right.
It's not like social media is fine, to some extent, but texting and posting on social media is of limited usefulness if you need to be heard, if somebody needs to be really heard. And to show up in a safe way, a telephone is that way.
Right.
Just call. Every single person I've called this week to check on, and I've called several dozen, have been just absolutely delighted to hear. I had nothing to say, really, other than to ask them how they're doing.
Right.
And they'll almost all of them will say they're fine. I don't know if that's going to be the case in a week. There's going to be some needs over a protracted time. But they were just delighted that somebody cared enough to call. And I think a phone call is a great way to reach out.
Yeah.
And in a safe way.
Right, yeah. You're not going to get coronavirus through the phone.
No.
Yeah, that's great. Another thing I've thought of is just giving gifts, right? Like, I think that's still safe, right? It's nice to have something show up on your front porch.
Yeah.
When you weren't expecting it. I mean, I know toilet paper and bread has shown up on our front porch, and that meant a lot to us.
My wife posted something on Facebook about just needing some touch and toilet paper in our house.
That's all we
so
need.
Somebody from church came with toilet paper and touch.
Yeah.
And of course, we all washed our hands afterwards. But it was just a delight to see them.
Right.
And we were a small group. There were 5 of us, so it was safe.
Yep.
So it was a delight to see them.
Yep. Well, as you can imagine, this is a stressful time for a lot of people, and we're having to invent new ways to stay sane. So I'm curious, what your own strategies are for staying sane when you're quarantined.
Well, I think everybody's got their own way of passing the time. Interestingly, my 15-year-old has been spending more time in school getting at-home instruction, so there hasn't been a lot of give and take, because the stuff he studies, I don't know. I can't teach him.
Yeah.
This stuff is and he's a freshman in high school, and I'm looking at this stuff.
My kids are in elementary school, and I'm in the same boat.
Algebra, so. I mean, I'm out of it. I can't do the algebra. But I like movies. I'm a movie guy.
Yeah.
I love a good movie, and I'll watch movie and pass time. I like to read. I love to read, and I keep up with what's going on. I don't watch much TV news. I will allow myself 5 to 10 minutes, and it's just so crazy that I felt like it's counterproductive to my peace.
Yep.
And of course, devotional time is important, and centering and just being quiet. There are times that the house is quiet, and it's just, I don't know, maybe that bothers some people. It doesn't bother me at all. It sounds good for us to be quiet.
Yep. Yeah, we're having to get used to that right now.
Yeah, and that's really odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're so hurried. And now I say, well, I'm in a hurry to get a nap.
Right, there's nowhere place to be.
There's nowhere else to be, so yeah. I'm hoping, I think my greatest worry is I'll have so much weight gain during this time, because I love to eat. I comfort eat, so that's not a good idea, but I need to get out and walk more. But,
Oreos are central to my sanity right now.
Yeah, that would be, that's great for coronavirus anxiety.
Right.
Oreo cookies would be good. Yeah, no, don't do that.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Paul. I appreciate this.
You bet.
Appreciate your presence in our church and the wisdom you bring. So thanks for this conversation. Join us again on our Facebook page. Follow us there, and our website. We'll continue to have updates and more interviews like this. Follow us there. Thanks.